Hey guys, welcome to my channel and welcome if you're new. My name's Colleen. Today I'm going to be showing you how I do my go-to face base, my foundation, contour, highlight routine. If you want to see how I got this glowy, contoured, structured look, then just keep watching. I'm going to start off with the Smashbox Photo Finish Primer. And this is just going to give your makeup a really smooth base and even out all your pores. It's just a pea-sized amount. And I'm going to focus this right in the center of my face, just right on top of all of my pores and any texture that I have. And you want to focus the primer in with a patting motion. This will really push it into your pores so you get a nice smooth surface. Then I'm going to go in with my foundation. Today I'm going to use the Maybelline Fit Me Matte and Poreless in the shade 125. And I like to dot it all over my face first before I smooth it out. I know some people like to pour it on a surface or on their hand or something, but I just find this is easier for me. So not too much, kind of a medium amount. I don't like a real heavy foundation because I feel like it obviously doesn't look very natural. And then I'm going to use just a flat top Kabuki brush. You can certainly use a sponge, you can use a round top Kabuki brush, really any type of brush or sponge, whatever you want. And make sure you're going below your jawline. You really want it to blend in with your neck and the rest of your skin color, especially if it's slightly off. Like this color foundation is actually the color of my self-tan, so at the moment my tan is kind of halfway worn off, so this is just a tad too dark for me, but we're going to blend it out and make it work. Again, in the center of my face, sometimes I like to just pat it in so it really secures down and kind of glues on top of that primer so it does not smudge. Okay, so now that you have a good base, you can start working creams and powders on top. I'm going to put some concealer on. This is the Tarte Rainforest of the Sea concealer, and I am in the shade Light Neutral, which I think is just a hair too light for me since I am kind of in between self-tan and my normal skin color, but makeup is all about blending and making things work, so that's what we're going to do. And lately I've only been putting my concealer under my eyes. I haven't been doing the chin or forehead area like I know some people do, but I guess I don't really like the harsh contour highlight look. I like more of a natural contour. So just smooth that out. I do like to take what is remaining on my brush just on my lid as well, and that'll kind of prime it for eyeshadow as well as smooth out any discoloration or veins and stuff that you have on your eyelid. Then I'm going to go in with one more cream just to do some contouring. This is the Maybelline Master Contour Stick Duo, and this comes with a highlight and contour side. I don't really like the highlight side just because it's a little bit greasy for me, so I'm just going to stick with the contour side. And I really wanted to use this because this is a contour video, so I really wanted you guys to see an actual line so you can understand what I'm saying. So I just do a little bit, not quite in the center of my forehead, but just focusing on the outside corners of my forehead. Then I'm going to take just a tad on the tip of my nose. I don't like to bring it all the way up to the brow because when you blend it out it's going to go up there anyway, so I like to focus it down on the tip and then go underneath as well because that's really going to bring up your tip if it's pointed down or anything. And nose contour is a whole nother video and it really depends on what type of nose that you have, so this is just what works for me. I like to focus it on the end and the bottom, and we're going to blend this out in a little bit, so do not worry. So then I'm going to go under the cheek, and for cheek contour, I know some people like to do more of a straight down look, which is going to really elongate your face. So again, this really depends on what type of face shape you have. I already have quite an oval type face. So I like to bring it more straight in. I know some people like to do it to the corner of your mouth, but I find for me it just makes my face too long. So I like to create a more structured cheekbone. So I'm really going to bring it under my cheekbone here and then more towards my nose, I guess. And that's just going to give me more of a squared off structured look. If you can see what I mean. And it's not really like a line, I'm kind of doing a slight curve to it. And then I'm just going to put a hair down here. And for the jawline contour, I really only do it in the back because I do have quite a strong chin, but this corner is not as defined for me. So that's what I want to define. So with contouring and stuff like this, it really, again, depends on your face shape, your nose shape, your eye shape, all of that. So I really recommend kind of analyzing that and seeing what you want out of it. And so in this video, I really just wanted to give you guys the tools and how to recognize different areas of your face and how they are able to be kind of altered with makeup, which is cool. So after you have the stick on, we're going to blend it out. I'm using the same foundation brush. And if you guys didn't know, with contouring, you definitely want a cooler toned bronzer or contour or whatever you're using. You don't want to use the warm orangey tones because that's just going to make you look tan. And if you think of a contour, it's creating a shadow. That's essentially what you're trying to do. And shadows are gray, they're black or whatever. So they have a cooler tone. So you definitely want to use your contour that has kind of an ashier tone. Now, I don't know if you guys noticed this, but I did not bring the contour all the way in, or all the way into my nose, I guess. Bring it in kind of 3/4 of the way, just so it's nice and subtle, so that when you're looking at someone from straight on, you can see it right here, or, you know, at an angle. It just goes right under your cheekbone. It doesn't go all the way in, because that wouldn't create a nice effect. You would really be able to tell that that person is wearing contour. And then for the nose contour, I like to just use my fingers at first, because I like to blend it up just slightly. And then you can bring it down the sides of your nose. And then now that the color is distributed, I'm going to go back in with the brush to just soften up any lines. So we are going to do one more cream, but that's at the end. It's a cream highlight, but I don't really mind putting cream highlights on top of powders. I don't really think it makes much of a difference. So we're going to set all this cream and foundation and everything. I am using the OFRA Oil Control Pressed Powder, and this is quite white. It says it's translucent, but it slightly gives me a white cast, but it's the only powder I have at the moment, so just going to put a little bit on. And because this is a white powder, I'm just going to focus it in the center of my face, because that's really the only place I get oily, and it's going to give me a slight highlight. You really want to set that nose contour as well, because I find nose contour is one of the first things to melt on your face. And I like to make sure that I get these smile lines that I have, because if I don't set them, the foundation will settle in there and it is not a cute look. Okay, so if you didn't see, I did not really put any powder on the cheeks because I don't want to mess up the contour. I feel like when I put powder on, I know it's supposed to set it, but I feel like it kind of moves it around. And we're going to be putting powder bronzer on top anyway, so that's going to set it. So I really just focused the white powder in the center of my face for oil control. So then we're going to move on to actual bronzer. So with your bronzer, it's meant to make you look bronze or tan. So you can use more of an orangey tone bronzer. I am going in with the IBY Beauty. This is actually the contour and highlight palette, but I'm going to use this middle one. It has more of an orangey tone, which is really nice. And just a big fluffy fan brush. This has been my favorite brush for bronzing lately, just because it has that nice straight shape, so you can get that contour and get in precise areas, but it's fluffy enough to blend it out. And this is just a crown brush. It's the SS023 crown brush, Jumbo Kabuki. So with the bronzer, I am going to be putting it further down on the sides, like this, but I am going to be going across the top, but I'm not going to be bringing it down. So it gives you kind of a halo look. And that's going to bring your hairline in. It's going to make you look nice and tan, especially on your temples. And if you have a larger forehead, bringing it just right across the top here is going to bring your forehead down visually. It's kind of an optical illusion. I'm going in really light with this, just because we already have that contour. I am going to be bringing it slightly above the contour as well. I am going to be focusing it on that contour line, but I'm going to be blending it upwards. You never want to blend your bronzer downwards, so we're going on that contour line and up. Again, focusing most of the color on the back and then fading it in as you go. And then just with whatever is left over, I'm hitting that jawline. So I'm starting on that contour line and then moving in circles to blend up. Then for the nose, since this is quite a large brush, you can use a smaller brush to accentuate those lines that we did. But lately I've just been using this big brush. I find that it gives me more of a natural look if I'm going for kind of a tanned look. So I like to hit the bottom again, and then just slightly do the sides. And then you can kind of go all over if you want to tan up that little nose of yours. Okay, so then lastly, I do put some underneath the chin. Again, I have kind of a longer oval shaped face, so this is really going to depend on your face shape. But I like to put it under the chin because I find that it just visually brings up my chin a little bit. And it balances out the bronziness all over. So I'm focusing underneath and then right on the tip. I'm not going up here at all. And then I like to go in with some blush next. It really doesn't matter if you do a shimmery blush or a matte blush. I've been into both lately. I don't really have a preference. I'm just going to go in with the NARS Orgasm today. This is one of my favorites. It's a long time cult favorite. It's falling apart. But this is a really nice blush to give you that bronzy glow look. And it kind of has gold undertones, which is nice. So for the blush, I focus it on the apples of my cheeks and then slightly bring it outwards. You do not want to be starting your blush out here like contour. And I'm not touching my face, I'm just showing you. You don't want to be focusing your blush out here because it's going to give you a weird like 80s look. I know in the 80s they did like a harsh blush type of contour. For this, we're going for a more natural structured look. So I'm focusing on the apples of my cheek and then blending it to the back. And I'm not pressing down on my brush. I'm really just doing the end of it just to give it a slight glow. And I really don't know if this is going to show up on camera because I'm not a huge fan of strong blush. So I just do a light bit just to add color back into my face. Okay, so now it is time for highlight, the best part, everyone's favorite part. I'm gonna do, again, I told you in the beginning, I'm gonna go back in with a cream just because I like to do cream and then powder highlight. I feel like it makes it a lot stronger of a highlight. I'm going in with the Becca Shimmering Skin Perfector. This is in the shade Opal. And for this I am going to, actually I'm just going to put it on my finger. I don't want to get my hand dirty. So I'm just doing the tiniest amount. You really do not need a lot of this because it is so strong. I'm just kind of patting it in between my two fingers to give it an even spread. I don't want to be putting the whole dollop on my cheek. For highlight, I focus it in this C shape. It kind of goes between the tail end of my brow, a slight curve, and then down kind of right underneath my pupil, if you can see. So right between the brow and the pupil. And then I like to do a bit in a line right above the arch of my brow. I know some people do it all the way around, but I find when you put it on this temple area of your temple, it brings the temple out, because that's what highlight does. It brings items to the forward of your eye, whereas you really want this temple to go in and you want it to be contoured if we're doing a structured look. So I like to focus the highlight just on my cheekbone, just in this little area, and then slightly above the arch of my eyebrow. And I'm just going in with a patting motion. You don't want to smear because we have all of that foundation and concealer and everything underneath. You don't want to move it around. And then I like to just put a little tiny bit right on the tip of my nose, and then kind of 3/4 of the way up. And if you want to get real adventurous, you can do your Cupid's bow as well. And then if you have any left over, I like to just put out my collarbones. Just gives you a nice glow, you know. And then we're going to go in with our powder highlight. Today I'm using the MAC Soft and Gentle. Again, this is a classic. It's a nice pinky highlight. It'll give you a really nice bronzy, summery look without being too glittery, if you know what I mean. I mean, I'm all about the strong highlight, but I don't like the glittery highlights. I don't think anyone likes that. I don't know. I'm just taking just a little small domed brush. And again, I'm focusing it right on top of that cream that we did. And then layering the cream with the powder is really going to make your highlight pop. It's really going to make it a lot stronger, give you that metallic type of glow. So again, I'm just focusing this right in that C shape as well as right on top of the arch of your brow. And we are done with the face. This is kind of my go-to face base. And I kind of, depending on what I'm doing for that day, or if I'm, going to some event or going out or whatever, I will amp it up or tone it down. You certainly don't have to do this much highlight or contouring or whatever you want. I will be doing a video on how to make your eyes look bigger, which will kind of correspond with this video. So you guys can head on over to my channel to check that out. And let's just cut to a clip of that so you guys can see it right now.